Just because you have a conflict in your relationship or you get in a fight or you can't perform the way you wish you could, it does not mean you're going backwards. So don't tell yourself that. Hey guys, I'm Stephanie, your sexologist and sex coach for men. Welcome back to What I Love About Sex. I want to remind you guys, not even remind you, I want to train your brains to stop using phrases like, oh, I'm going backwards. Just because you saw progress and then you found yourself back in the old patterns or routine of your relationship doesn't necessarily mean you're going backwards. Sometimes it can actually feel like you're going backwards because you saw the wins, you saw what's possible when you made some change, and because you had something come up from an old habit, maybe stung a little bit more. And because you're like, oh my God, now I could see what the potential is and what I could be experiencing, but now I'm back here. You're not back. You're just having an experience that you have to train yourself to respond differently to. It's taking the current situation that isn't ideal and it's becoming more mindful of it. It's realizing, all right, when I get sexually rejected and I get internally upset because I take it personal and then I avoid her, that's what I always did. And when I avoid her and when I do that, it creates a lot more separation in our relationship and a lot more tension around sex. Versus the change I recently made, not internalizing it and talking to her about it, talking about how she's feeling that day, asking her if she wants to hang out and do something else, change in behavior most likely brought you change in outcome, right? Which probably felt good because for you guys who respond by taking control, not taking things personally, getting curious with your partner, realizing that it's not always going to be the right time, but if you can understand her more and more, you can figure out when the right times are, then you have good experiences. But you can't get upset when you have another experience of you having another moment in the future where she rejects you and you take it personal and then you get upset and avoid. That might happen again. Doesn't mean you're going backwards as long as you are aware of it. As long as you're aware of it and you're like, oh shit, I did the old thing again. What do I need to do to feel good about this right now? Let me just go talk to my woman so that we can talk about our sex life and figure out where we're both at and what we want at this point in life. Like that's the emotionally mature way to handle situations like this and to take the lead on it. And this is not to say that men have to take the lead on this and it's the man's job. I've taken the lead on this multiple times in my relationship. It's just a matter of who wants that thing more and who is upset by the current outcome. If you want it more and you're more upset by it, that means you take the lead toward change and you realize you are in control of making that change based on how you react to the circumstance and what you decide to do action wise moving forward to get a new outcome, an outcome that you want. So it doesn't help to use phrases like, oh, we went backwards or we're regressing, because that's not necessarily true. You just had an experience that you used to have more of, and it's not ideal. So you got to look forward. Always try to focus forward because the people who dwell on the mistakes or dwell on the things that don't feel great, they end up right back in that hamster wheel of experiencing more of that because you kind of like put your hands up in the air and somewhat give up because you're like, oh, we're back here. Okay, you visited that place again. How do you change your response to get closer to what you want? And are you and your partner working together as a team to do that and have a new outcome? If she's not willing to work with you, that's a whole other story. And this is what I tell to my clients. If you want your sex life to change and improve, and you want your relationship connection to improve, if your wife or girlfriend doesn't want to work on that, and she's like, this is your problem, I don't work with those guys. I don't work with those relationships because if she is totally shut off, it's not going to work. Often see massive results because they have wives or girlfriends who are like, if you want to do this, I'll be there for whatever you need. And I support you and I'm willing to do whatever you want me to do for us to fix this. But just because you don't have an ideal circumstance does not mean you're going backwards. And there will also be lows in healthy relationships too. You're going to have arguments. You're going to get annoyed. You're going to have conflict. You're going to have tough conversations you got to figure out. When something comes up, just learn to trust yourself and continue building the skill sets, knowing that that's normal. There's also going to be times when sex is not as exploratory. You guys aren't connecting as easily. You have to have conversations and figure that out a little bit sometimes. That's okay. The more you believe that that's normal, and overall, as long as you're on that upward trajectory and you have healthy communication with your woman, then you don't judge yourself as much. You don't judge the relationship. You don't build resentment. And you're just like, oh, okay, here's another thing we just got to work out together. here's just another thing we got to talk about. And over time, those conflicts and things resolve pretty quickly because you get so good at handling them together, and it doesn't become this huge thing. It doesn't become something you suppress because you deal with it the moment it comes up. And that's why a lot of healthy couples feel like, oh, it doesn't take much work when you're with the right person, right? It still takes work. It's just they got so good at the work and the work got easier because they got good at the work that it doesn't feel as much like work. So just because you hit a low doesn't mean you're going backwards necessarily, right? I think the only time when you're really going backwards is when you or your partner are like, I don't care anymore. Like, apathy is the killer. When one of you doesn't give a shit and you don't want to put the work in, you don't want to make effort to figure things out together and make sure that you're both feeling connected and okay and loved and understood, that's when problems really hit. If you guys can figure stuff out together and stay in the game with each other, like keep playing on the same team, then don't stress about it. Just handle it as it comes and be happy for each other when you figure something out and meet halfway. Try to have fun with it too. Like my boyfriend and I had a conflict like a week ago and we handled it really well. And right afterwards, he was like, did we just handle that amazingly well? And I was like, yeah. And we were like, oh my God, that was amazing. So cheer each other on.